In my recent Fire Alpaca review, some of you asked me to review Krita, yet another free underrated drawing app on PC. Your wish is my command. Sometimes. I'm not sponsored by Krita or anything, by the way, which is, kind of sad. But without further ado, let's create a new canvas. There are a lot of size templates for illustrations. We can adjust the canvas as well, like the layers quantity, the background color, and the background opacity. There are other canvases as well, like the animation templates, comic templates, design, DSLR, textures. For a free app, this is really cool. It doesn't only cater to digital illustrators, but also animators and designers, and also photographers. I'm going to pick a 4 at 300 pixel per inch. And here you can switch from portrait to landscape. This is very convenient because I don't have to switch the width and height manually. So this is the interface. On the left, you have the toolbars, and then on the right, you have the color wheel, the layers, the brushes. I noticed that the opacity and the size for the brushes are so far away from the brushes section. As a former user experience designer, this is not good. If two functions are correlated, like the brushes and then the opacity and the size, they are not supposed to be this far apart. But anyway, the interface is pretty much similar to other drawing apps for PC, so it shouldn't take too long to get used to. First, let's talk about the left side toolbar. It's divided thinly into 6 parts. I don't know if you noticed, but there are very thin separators on it. The first segment is your vector adjustments, the text, and also the manga panel functions. Next is brush, shapes, and vector brushes. This is very self-explanatory. I don't think I will be using the vector though, but I will be using the brush all the time, obviously. There is this weird 3 brushes icon here, and apparently it's to make patterns. That's convenient. Third section is transform, move, and crop. Pretty sure all of you know what they do. On the fourth section, we have color-related functions like gradient, eyedropper, paint bucket. I don't know what these 3 does. It's colorize, mask tool, smart patch tool, enclose, and fill. Okay, it does nothing. So the next section is an unknown territory for me. Oh, it's perspective function. Yeah, that's very convenient and also confusing. I don't think I will be using this, but that's still pretty cool. This one is to measure the distance and angle. I don't think I will be using this either. And this one is reference images tool. So I actually googled a bit about Krita, and apparently you use this reference images tool to put references on your canvas. And then you have to click on the tool options, which is next to the color wheel, and then you can click on this, and then your folder will pop up, and then you can include any images you want as a reference. You can resize them however you want, you can rotate, and you can put anywhere you want. Doesn't just have to be on the canvas. The next section is your selection tools. I will mostly use freehand, which is this one. Let's look at the brushes first before we move on to the drawing. So unlike the other PC drawing apps that I've tried, Krita's brushes seem to be more sophisticated. Usually in drawing apps like CSP, Paint Tool Sai, Fire Alpaca, the inking brushes are the belle of the ball. They have like 5 different types of G pen. But in Krita, there's only like a handful of inking brushes and a lot of decorative brushes. All the brushes are divided by categories, so that's really nice and organized. I've been testing some of these brushes and I've made my own set of categories, which is the Fong Faith. And these 6 brushes passed the qualification. So here I have the airbrush, just your regular airbrush. Then we have basic 5 size. I'm not currently using my pen tablet, so the ends doesn't have tapered tips. Then we have basic 5 size opacity, so just like before, but this one is softer, I guess. And then Bristles-4 Glaze. This one has textures. I usually use this on lower opacity. And then these 2 are blending brushes, but turns out I don't really need these 2. It's really nice though. It has like a watercolor effect. And this is called WaterC Spread. Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing. Is there liquify in here? I know there is liquify in here, but I just forgot where it is. I've actually tried Krita a long time ago. I kinda don't wanna rewatch my old video because I think they're kinda cringe. Not that my recent videos are not cringe, but I just haven't made peace with myself. Okay, so anyway, the The liquify is on the transform and it is located in the tool options. Next to the color wheel, there is tool options, and then you click on this water drop thing. See, it's liquify, blah 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 blah. And then you can just move things around. If it's not big enough, you can adjust the size from here. The liquify is kind of wonky though, but you know, I shouldn't complain about it because it's free, right? Free apps with liquify is already good, but it is kind of lagging. I pulled here. There's like a slight pause. But anyway, that's where the liquify is. Let's get into the drawing. Okay, so I have collected some WaterC references. None of the official arts though, because I wanna draw his face. And I swear to God, WaterC cosplayers are so good. I also collected a photo reference of Subin, which I duplicated and flipped, just in case I need to flip my drawing. And also some hand references because Subin's photo is cropped at the hand. I will talk more about the features as well as the drawing experience as I'm drawing. As always, start with the silhouette and then the rough sketch. I need to put a bit more pressure on my pen during this process because even with a big size, the resulting strokes are tiny. This is why I don't like using pencil brushes because they're usually very small. I thought the basic brush would be different, but turns out it's the same. It's always awkward using a new drawing app. Well, technically I've tried it before, but it was like a long time ago. So this is still considered new to me. My rough sketch is super rough right now, so let's draw a cleaner one. I realized it's better to sketch with a solid brush, so usually I used brushes with faded tips, right? In Krita it's quite frustrating to sketch with that kind of brush, so use a solid brush. It'll be much quicker. As I mentioned before, the liquify is quite wonky and it made my drawing blurry, so I didn't use it that much actually. I used the lasso tool and transform tool instead to make adjustments. Let me make some adjustments to the shortcuts. The default shortcut in Krita is confusing me. Like, they use P for the eyedropper tool. I usually use I, you know, because it's like eyedropper. So we use the letter I. You get what I mean, right? You can make these adjustments in preferences and then keyboard shortcuts. Let's talk about the top toolbar. Here we have create new, open existing document, save, undo, redo. It's pretty standard. And we have the color selections for gradients, brush adjustments, which is very complicated. And this is very interesting. We have blending modes here, but this is the blending mode for your brush. So we can use multiply to add shadows and screen to add highlight in the same layer. The eraser is located here. So in Krita, the brush is also an eraser, I guess, because if you switch this on, it will work as an eraser. And you click it again to switch it off, it will act as a brush. As I'm testing this out, it's kind of annoying because the shortcut for brush is B and E is for eraser. But if I'm on eraser and I click B, it doesn't change to brush. I have to click E again to switch off the eraser. Why wouldn't you just let me use the B? I've grouped the layers and clipped a layer to the group by using quick clipping group. So you can add shadows and stuff to the whole drawing without merging the group. Lots of groups. The blending modes in Krita are insane. It has so many blending modes and I don't even know what half of these are. Interpolation, Lambert lighting, penumbra A, diffusive modulo, additive subtractive. Sounds like math. I don't think we'll have the time to try these out one by one, obviously. You can experiment with these yourself. Krita is completely free anyway, so you can just download it and try it out if you're curious. The airbrush and the texture brush is quite nice to use. I especially like the airbrush because it doesn't taper and is quite big, so you can cover more areas. I will write down what brushes I'm using in Krita if you want to try them out. None of them are custom, by the way, and I didn't fuck around with the setting. Moving on to the rendering or painting over the sketch. During this process, I frequently use the eyedropper tool. It doesn't automatically switch to brush after I pick a color. Some of Krita's blending brushes are amazing, but I decided not to use them because I really like the messy look. It reminds me of the first time I tried digital art on Photoshop and couldn't figure out how to blend, so I just kept using the low opacity round brush. I hated how it looked back then, but now I think it has its own charm. There's this cool shortcut you can do in Krita. I don't know how to trigger this, this, but I just pressed the little switch on my pen. Sorry for the finger, by the way, it's kind of orange. I was eating cheese popcorn earlier. But yeah, click on the pen and the cool shortcut will show up. You can switch brushes quickly, and it also has the color wheel. You can rotate the canvas, zoom in and zoom out. It's pretty cool and convenient. I don't know what to press on the keyboard to trigger that though, so just click the thing on your pen. Okay, I will just fast forward because I want to try out some of these blending modes. Okay, just to test them out, I will make this red blob on a new layer, and then we will try the blending mode one by one. Not all of them, just some weird ones like snore, snore. What is this? I don't like invert. Nand. What is Nan? Oh, it actually looks so cute. Bump map. Okay, so some of them are pretty cool, many of them are questionable. Like this one is pretty cool, modulo shift continuous. You just lower the opacity and use the airbrush to erase some of the colors. It's a pretty cool effect in my opinion. Let's try using different color like pink. It looks cool, right? Maybe I can combine it with gradient maps. Ooh, it looks really cool. I mean, I know WaterC doesn't have this hair color, but still it looks pretty cool, right? This is before the modulo shifting module or something. Whatever, and this is after we add the modulo. Before moving on to the filters, I want to show you the layers first. You can add different type of layers like transparency mask. If you have a commitment issue, this is your best friend. Instead of an eraser, we use black to erase the drawing. The darker it is, the stronger the eraser. And then you can use white to make the drawings reappear. Then we have the filter mask. This is really cool because you don't have to duplicate the drawing to apply filters anymore. And it comes with built-in transparency mask, so we can just easily erase parts we don't want and make them reappear if we change our mind. It's amazing for a free app to have this advanced set of filters. It even have curve with a different name. It's color adjustment here. It's basically curve. They also have levels, which is similar to brightness and contrast, but you can adjust the midtones value here. There's this cool thing called edge detection. Crazy, right? So cool. I don't know the practical use of this. Maybe you can use it like a background or something. I don't know how to use it actually. It just looks cool, but I don't know how I can implement this in my drawing. The gradient map selection is not as massive as Fire Alpaca, but there are some cool gradients here. Like I really like this blue one and also this one. Okay, so this is the filter I'm curious about. Phong Bump Map. Phong Bump Map. I think this effect is similar to high pass in Photoshop, but you can change the color. It enhances the textures in your painting. For this filter though, I think you need to duplicate your drawing so you can apply overlay or soft light on the layer. Unfortunately, we cannot edit the filters once we apply them. The rest of the filters are similar to the other drawing apps, especially to Photoshop's, which is amazing because Krita is free and Photoshop is so fucking expensive. The blending modes as well. They even have modes that can't be found in other drawing apps. Krita is amazing. It's so underrated. The features are crazy. I don't know about the animation or comic or the web design features, but for illustration and photo editing, this is great. So many filters and adjustment tools. Although it might be overwhelming for beginners because there are so many things. The brushes selection is great, but they're not as smooth as the other PC drawing apps like Fire Alpaca, Sai, and CSP. I wish the liquify is smoother too, but I mean, at least it's there. And you know what? I can survive without having to use liquify that much. So all is well. If you're looking for a good free drawing app, definitely try Krita. It's amazing, highly underrated, and it deserves so much more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what other apps you'd like me to try, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!